Good afternoon. I am Ladina Bolton, your Super District 7 Commissioner and Deputy Presiding Officer, also the Chair of the ERPS Committee, Employee Relations and Public Safety. We have an update to our committee members. Serving now on this committee with me is Commissioner Nicole Messiah, but also Commissioner Marita Davis-Johnson, and we want to say welcome to Commissioner Messiah. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into our agenda. Luckily, it isn't too exhaustive, but beginning with item 2026-0420, these are our minutes for the February 17th meeting. Had you had an opportunity to review the minutes?
Not yet, being new to the committee and in the absence of Commissioner Davis-Johnson, who is attending to family responsibilities and emergency, and our prayers are with her. My ask is that the chair will accept a motion to defer to our next committee meeting. So myself have an opportunity to review, and as well as Commissioner Davis-Johnson.
Okay, and I second that motion for a deferral for 2 weeks. All right, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries for deferral. Jumping into our previously heard items, we're actually going to move this item for animal enforcement services toward the end. I know Commissioner Long-Spears wanted to be present for that, so we're going to give her a little bit of time. Well, no, we don't have to for committee. It's fine. Right. So we'll come back to that. I know we have our guest from Lifeline, if that's okay with you. So we're going to move forward to item 2026-0272, all commission districts. This is a statewide contract, number 99999 SPD, SPD 00-00172-006, integrated security and surveillance products and services for use by the Department of Facilities Management. Consists of purchasing from the competitively led statewide contract number that was previously read to purchase indoor and outdoor cameras with sensors for the video surveillance security system awarded to Convergent Technologies, amount not to exceed $146,741.40. All right, go ahead and share with us some details about this contract. Uh-oh, I don't think we can hear you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This agenda item 027.
They're going to help you out with your microphone.
Sorry. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Okay, agenda item 0272 is regarding the security cameras. We have several departments that are currently moving from 774 Jordan Lane to 4572 Memorial Drive. That consists of worksource development, utility custom operations, also known as UCO, which is for watershed, and then we had several offices for the state of Georgia. So the security cameras will serve the entire 35,000 square foot, both indoor and outdoor, with the higher end cameras being utilized in the UCO or the utility custom operations, and that's because they accept money there and require the enhanced surveillance. We were able to obtain a portion of these cameras from our IT department, so that's going to necessitate that a portion of this fee will be used for restocking those to the IT, plus the ones additional we need to purchase.
Okay, and I was trying to go back and look at the full report. Did you say this was for 4830 Memorial Drive?
It's for 4572 Memorial Drive.
4572.
In that shopping center just outside of 285.
Okay.
On Memorial Drive.
Did you have something, Commissioner Messiah?
No questions at all, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Any questions from Commissioner Patrick or Commissioner Terry regarding this contract? Okay, seeing no questions or comments from commissioners, do we have a motion for this item?
Motion to approve agenda item ending in 0272.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Recommendation for approval.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, moving down to new agenda items. First item is under public safety. This is Item 2026-0459, all commission districts, to approve the usage of SPLOST 1 funds under Category 2H for a public safety training facility in the amount of $500,000 to evaluate and propose the most appropriate location for a public safety training facility. How you doing, Director?
How are you doing, Commissioner?
Wonderful.
To all the commissioners. It is as you stated, Commissioner. This is using SPLOST 1 funds that were allocated for the planning of a joint training center. And so we're at the point where we're ready to move forward. This would be basically a feasibility study, site location. Also take a look at the current 2 locations used by fire and PD to decide how best to place those props, those training needs on the same location. Obviously, the easier ones are determining how big of a classroom space we need. But there's very specific items, as you can imagine, when it comes to a training center. And this would be an up to amount.
For the feasibility study.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
In the planning, they would take a look. What we would do is have a scope of work where they would take a look at the current training centers that we have. Also, some of the regional training centers, Cobb and Gwinnett have built some recently that are relatively new and I think would be ideal for departments of our size.
Okay, and just to iterate publicly, under where it says type of work being requested, we're looking for them to propose construction and design, architectural building and renovation and assessment. Is that correct?
Yes, Commissioner, because what we had talked about is the possibility of them bringing forth as many as 3 options.
Okay.
Which would be then possibly maintaining some of our current space, the possibility of building something completely new for both, once again, police and fire. So we're going to be asking them for options as well, not just one straightforward proposal.
And have we identified an expert in the industry that has the means to do the study, or is that a part of what we will be soliciting for?
The existing contractors that facilities has are on call, A&E firms. There are a number of them have experience in public safety. So we'll go to 2 or 3 of those with the same scope as in the price, schedules, and budgets and work out the final scope.
Okay. Any questions from committee members? Commissioner Messiah?
Thank you so much. First, I'm going to start by saying I think it's fantastic, and I really do appreciate such competent individuals in the roles and fulfilling the responsibilities to DeKalb County. I'll tell you, as a resident and as a commissioner, it makes me feel safe just seeing the 3 of you standing there, knowing what you stand for, knowing the work that you put in, knowing your commitment to our constituents. It really does. With that being said, I also noticed that we have the price tag essentially is at a $500,000, and so is that what we're thinking is going to be sufficient to cover everything that's necessary to make suggestions as it relates to the potential of repurposing or renovating an established building or building another one? I mean, is that going to be sufficient to get everything that we need to get done? And then do we have a specific time frame?
So let me break that down, maybe 3 answers. The time frame would typically be 6 to 9 months. It's not intended to be all the answers we need. It's, as Director Fulham said, it's look at your existing conditions, your future needs, where you're at now, where you might be, identify those options and potential locations to set the groundwork for the next phase. So this is just would be the first phase of conceptual schematic planning for future needs and where they might be located.
All right, well, that's my questions. I yield back to you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Anything from Commissioner Patrick or Commissioner Terry? Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So it looks like y'all will be focusing first on the properties that we sort of already have control over: Camp Circle, George Luther, and Warren Road. So there's, I guess those are the top 3. but you're going to look at other locations that we own, or are you also looking at potential properties that we would acquire?
Both, Commissioner.
Both,
All
okay.
three, actually.
And how many acres do you estimate is going to be needed? It's going to be a joint facility, right? Is that what you're looking for?
Yes, Commissioner. Well, that's one option.
One option, okay.
One option would be placing everything, contiguously on a single piece of property, but we would ask them to look at the possibility of placing some of those larger props. The first one that comes to mind is like the driving course. I mean, takes a lot of
Right, the driving course.
And so something like that might be able to be placed somewhere else.
I see.
As mentioned earlier in some of the conversations, we know in DeKalb County, we're in some ways running out of land. So it may be that we have to look at options of having certain props at a different location. But that's what the consultant would do for us.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Go ahead, Commissioner
Really
Masai.
quickly, thank you, Madam Chair. Just wanting to see what opportunity would present itself for the administration, well, you're, I'm sure, already engaged and involved, but for the commissioners to weigh in, if you will, or make suggestions in terms of potential locations. I mean, just in earnest, thinking about, as you mentioned, some of the limitations we have in terms of property, thinking about if we're talking about training facility, potential shooting range, right? And we're talking about driving ranges and, some of the potential noise factors, even though I'm sure we will do everything to mitigate it as possible, but looking at some of the low industrial areas that we have in the county, and particularly in District 3 that we have, right? And be able to have in some of our areas where we might have a little more challenges near the pilot in terms of, crime, but, its proximity right off of 285 and, just thinking, so as you guys are sharing, I'm sharing in the vision and, what we might be able to do in terms of purchase, renovation, and perfect locale where you have everything you need, not so much spread out, because I could imagine it may create a bit of a challenge if there are, areas here, there, and everywhere. But wanting to know how much, we might have an opportunity to weigh in and be able to give input.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Commissioner, if first of all,
Yeah.
you all would send your ideas to
Sure.
us.
Yeah.
But also, I could see where the consultant would come back to ERPS, not
Okay.
with just a final product, but maybe, have points along the way where we do report out.
Okay, that's great. Yield back to you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Absolutely. And just for record, can you share the need, why we anticipate a need for a new public safety facility, maybe what currently we're using, how old that facility is, or whether there has been renovations? Just give context to the community for the request.
Yes, and if you don't mind, Commissioner, I do have the police and fire chief here who could speak
Absolutely.
very specifically to each one of their locations, are prepared to do so.
Thank you, sir.
So, Chief Baker, flip a coin. Just speak to your current location.
Yes, so, and the need is going to come up again in a few minutes on another agenda item specifically for the police department. And I know that you've visited our training academy and facility. I'm sure all of you have. It's a 1960s school building where we share with not only our East Precinct, but our police training academy and in service for all officers. So we make the best use of what we've got. But given the times, the modernization of all of law enforcement, the competitiveness across the metro Atlanta area, this is way, way, way overdue. We've looked at Cobb County, Gwinnett County, City of Atlanta, and in order to compete as a premier agency, we need premier training facilities to put out the best police force that we can.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir. Chief Carter.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. As far as our training facility, it is the Warren Road location. That academy, it was built in 1973. The burn building that was initially there, it was condemned in 2003. It's when then we wound up getting a new burn building. That burn building has been there since 2006, and We've had a few renovations, some splash funds that were used to do some classroom space that we did in 2020.
Awesome. So community, just in case you didn't hear that, our public safety partners have been supporting us in condemned 1900s buildings. So now we have to update them to the 21st century. All right, thank you, sirs. We appreciate your discussions on that item. So at this time, do we have a motion for 0459?
Gladly motion to approve 0459.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Congratulations, motion carries. Recommendation for approval. All right, so moving down to item 2026-0460. This is all commission districts to approve the usage of SPLOST 1 and SPLOST 2 funding to make needed repairs to East Precinct and the police training facility by, I guess that should be in the amount of $3,019,530. Is that an amount not to exceed? Am I reading this incorrectly? Okay. All right.
Again, thank you, Commissioners. So a few weeks ago, you approved $2 million in round numbers for the new roof at Bruce Street and the new HVAC units. So this continues with multiple on-call vendors, again, that are under contract with facilities for asbestos removal, wiring upgrades, restroom renovations, the interior of the building, if you will. Multiple vendors across the $3 million not to exceed are the estimates we have.
Okay. So it looks like the 2.5 will be coming out of SPLOST 2 and about 518,000 plus SPLOST 1, and those were the repairs and replacements you were just speaking to. Okay. Any questions or comments from committee members? Commissioner Messiah?
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Just wondering whether or not we, if this item has came out of audit based on the amount.
So you can answer that, but I believe the 2.5 was already approved. Is this in addition of the 500,000?
No, this, if I may, this is a total of $3 million.
Okay.
It's new funding, or $3,019,000, but these are going to be multiple contracts. What we'll be doing is using our various on-call contracts to do this work, so that's probably why it wasn't sent to audit.
You may want to add that
Okay.
the
But he,
500,000 in SPLOST 1 closes out the category we had for police facilities, and SPLOST 2 just rolled that into public safety. That's why we're
Okay.
using two buckets.
All right, fantastic. And just going to make a suggestion in terms of fixing that wordage, that verbiage before it comes, instead of by in an amount not to exceed would be great before it comes before the board as a whole. Outside of that, that's all my questions and concerns. Thank you so much. I yield back to you, Madam Chair.
okay. Well, now I need another point of clarity, because you indicated the roof, and I know we approved that funding already. So that is
That work
not.
is underway with the original $2 million, so this is $3 million on top of that.
Okay,
Total-
3 on top
total
of the
$5 million
previous.
investment. Keep Bruce Street moving while we plan for the next generation.
Okay. All right, and let me see.
And if I may, this is.
Yes.
This is, what we took was part of the old senior center to expand. We had to do our physical agility. We had, under post standards, we had to build out that part of the gym there so we could do our physical agility testing when we're getting applicants as police officers. So this takes over some of that space while fixing that space for the needs for training. We're also using funds because East Precinct, as I stated earlier, is housed in the same location, and East Precinct needs a lot of attention in its facilities, its restrooms, the front of the building, and so a lot of this will be used for not only training but our East Precinct as well.
Okay. Yes, and I know you need it, but I would like for the 2.5, can you itemize that? Or it's very general. It just says additional renovation funding.
We've got a detailed spreadsheet from Chuck Burleson and facilities of line item by line item,
Okay.
and who the vendors would be.
Okay, yes. Can we see that, please? But I don't see any reason to delay this item, considering we've been over and over the renovations needed. Do we have a motion for this item?
I have no problem with making a motion to approve, Madam Chair.
All right, and I second that motion to approve 0460. All in favor? Aye. Congratulations. Motion carries for recommendation of approval. Moving on to item 2026-0311. This is also all commission districts. It's a statewide contract for guns, ammunition, and accessories used by the Department of Police Services. Consists of purchasing from the competitively let statewide contract for the purchase and trade-in of weapons awarded to Smyrna Police Distributors, Inc., amount not to exceed $150,000. $150,074.50.
Good afternoon again, Commissioners. So, back again, one of the things that I've realized over the last year, our firearms and the typical standard based on the firearms, the amount of rounds we use, the maintenance required for our pistols is typically a 5 to 7 year lifespan. We start seeing a cost for maintenance repairs, but we've got an opportunity now to replace our aging duty firearms and transition to newer, same model Glock 9mm handguns, and we've worked out a contract with Glock and Dana, I believe it's, Smyrna Police Distributors, to do a trade-in with the firearms that we have now. So we'll receive credit for trading in the guns that we have, which significantly reduces the cost. But these new firearms, like I said before, they're the same model, same caliber, but we're now upgrading to better modern optics. And I've met with the Atlanta Police Department, I've met with Gwinnett Police Department, and many other agencies that have already transitioned to these modern optics, and they've seen significantly higher scores on the firing range. So it really helps us long-term, reduces, liability exposure when we have accurate shooters on the range. These modern optics allow officers, instead of focusing on old iron sights where you're closing one eye, looking downrange, you can keep both eyes open with these modern optics, look through, still see your target, and still pay attention to your surroundings as well.
Oh. Any questions or comments, Commissioner Messiah?
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And so thank you again for being with us, Chief Pedrick. Just a quick question in terms of how many duty firearms do you think that we'll have the opportunity to modernize with the allocation of roughly the 150K?
It's going to be approximately 600 firearms.
All right. And is that about what we need,
Yes,
or where we're
ma'am,
at?
that's what we need right now.
Because I am, as you know, big on ensuring that our law enforcement have what they need to stay protected, because they are here protecting us. So I just wanted to make sure that that's going to cover it, and that you're not being ultra conservative, but making sure that we have what we need for our officers. So
Yes, ma'am.
with that, I accept that, and I am good. Thank you so much. I'll yield back to you, Madam Chair.
Okay. And to piggyback off of that, is this just for firearms that are in the field, or does that include any that might be in stock for the new cohort that's coming through, the new
It will
class?
include outfitting all of our officers now and any new officers.
Okay, and any new officers. Any questions or comments from Commissioner Patrick or Commissioner Terry? Commissioner Patrick?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Quick question, Chief. Does body armor go through a life cycle? And
Yes, sir.
when would you be coming back with a body armor request? Or
Yes, sir. We typically budget for that annually because unlike the firearms where we're doing all at one time, we do body armor as the years go. So all of them expire at different times.
Gotcha.
And we just continuously buy the body armor on a replacement cycle.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You have something else?
Just really briefly, and thank you for that. Thank you so much, Commissioner Patrick, for that, because that's something that I mentioned, and I'm looking forward to you presenting on some of our body armor needs. So thank you
Yes,
for
ma'am.
bringing that up. I yield back to you, Madam Chair.
All right, if there's nothing else from commissioners, okay, can I have a motion for this
Of
item?
course, gladly. Motion to approve agenda item ending in 0311.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Recommendation for approval. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and jump back to the item that we skipped, which was under Public Safety, Animal Enforcement Services on page 1, item 2026-0284, all commission districts. Change order number 6 to contract number 1132039, Animal Shelter Operations Services for DeKalb County. This is multi-year, for use by the Department of Public Safety, Animal Enforcement Services. This contract consists of providing animal shelter operations and services. This request seeks to ratify a previously provided contract term and rate increase. This request also seeks to increase contract funds, scope, and term through December 31, 2027, awarded to Lifeline Animal Projects, Inc., amount not to exceed $22,244,500.
Yes, good afternoon again, Commissioners. And this item has come back from audit, so you should have received that report. But it is, as you stated, this is an extension of the contract with some enhancements. And those enhancements that were discussed at the last meeting are really focusing on the upstream prevention. As I heard during the last meeting, we really are stepping into space that no one else in the state and possibly the nation is doing by expanding the spade and neutering. It's going to be expanded from the current 3,600 surgeries to 4,500 for dogs, and then for cats from 1,200 to 1,500. There will be expanded hours for the outreach. There will be a mobile veterinary service twice a week in the high needs areas. We're going to target the outreach to those communities that we know need the most need. We're expanding the pet food bank and the community cat food pantry. And so what you do have before you, and I think it is laid out, but as far as those expanded services, those would start in April of this year if this is approved, and then carry throughout the entire year for next year. And then there is also some new positions in there as well. So once again, this is really expanding the services of what we're doing here in DeKalb.
So one thing that I wanted to confirm, the annual base rate is the $9.9 million a year. I know this is for 2 years, so about $19 million, though we're asking for 22. The expansion of services, all the different things you just mentioned, the surgeries, the hours, mobile veterinary, pet food, the new positions, will they be covered by that $9 million, or is that what the additional 3 would be, 3 or 4 will be used for?
So, Commissioner, for year one, for this year, it's $10.8 million, which includes the expanded services. And then for year 2, it'd be 11.3. So I believe, are you looking at the audit report, or?
So it's the full agenda item that gives the details. In previous years, I'm assuming in previous years, the base has been 9.9, and then you're asking for a 3% increase to cover 26 and then 27 as well. So I see the 10.8 million and the 11.3 million, and just trying to get an understanding of the difference from traditionally 9.9 to, I'm just gonna say in total about $3 million increase that's being requested.
Yes, Commissioner. So the increase for this year beyond the 9.9, which is just the operations of the animal shelter, the addition, which takes it to the 10.867, is the enhanced services.
Okay.
And so last year's operations, I believe, was at 8.7. And that was just the operational services. So if we were not doing the enhanced services, it would just be 9.9.
Okay. And I'll tell you, my only concern, well, not my only, one of my major concerns is us increasing funding every year, considering that we get folks from all over that partake in the services that DeKalb County provides, and we just cannot afford to support the entire region. So I would like us to, for future, to consider a more regional approach, especially considering Lifeline doesn't just service DeKalb, it services other areas as well. And for us to every year increase our investment in the programming, I don't think is fair when we're servicing everybody, unless we put some sort of stipulation that when folks come to Healthy Pets or whatever we're doing, they have to show residency or something. Or maybe they offset some of what is being paid. Okay, it looks like, Zach, you want to speak to some of what I'm saying?
You make a very interesting point, because our intent with these general fund dollars is to service DeKalb County residents and their pets. So we'll take a look to see, like the spay and neuter program, that would be for, well, all this stuff is really for DeKalb County residents. But if we need to put safeguards in place to ensure that we're not implementing programs that are going to be utilized out by others outside the area, we can take a look at that.
Okay, and we know that it's occurring.
Well, there's going to be some,
Yeah.
But you know, we don't want to have an open door so that the spaying, neutering reduces pet overpopulation in other counties and not here. Our intent is to address DeKalb County.
Okay, so with the consideration for this increase, have there been discussions to put guardrails around it? I would
There
hate
have
to
not.
just say yes without.
Well, there have not, but that's something we can look at, because understand that our programs go out to specific areas, you know, and whether it's mobile veterinary or when people come to our sites. So it is very DeKalb-centric, but have we determined that people have to show ID and things like that? I'm not sure about that. I'll double check that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I asked.
Did they ask?
Yeah. So,
Yes.
Oh, did you want to add something, Rebecca?
I'm asking the question,
Yes.
do they show ID?
yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes, the program the commissioner mentioned is not.
You can come to the microphone.
Well, just the programs
do
that we
the
do.
show
Thank you. The program that you mentioned, the Healthy Pets program, that's not in this proposal. All of these programs are strictly for DeKalb County residents. So they're either at the DeKalb County shelter where people show ID, or they have to prove identification to be able to get the additional spay-neuter. And it's a dramatic expansion of spay-neuter. It's from 1,000 up to 6,000 a year, all for DeKalb County residents. Primarily, we're going to target 30032 and 30058. So Commissioner Messiah and you're
In
what,
District
they're-
7 as well. Yeah.
not all of District 7, but that southern part. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you have something, Commissioner Messiah? I thought I saw somebody raise their hand. Was that you, Commissioner Tier? Okay. And also what I wanted a little bit more information on was the community engagement. I spoke about the last time when commissioners want to do events and have the truck come out, do microchipping or whatever services are requested. We give funds out of our discretionary budgets, but if we're going to increase this budget by millions, I think there should be a commitment for commissioners who would like to do programming specifically in their district, as opposed to us paying twice for the same services.
Absolutely, Commissioner. And also, we want to encourage all of you to do that. We'd like to partner with you to find additional venues for that mobile clinic. So right now, we have some set areas throughout the county that we go to. This is going to double our capacity for that mobile clinic, and we're going to rely on you for helping us target areas and provide those services. So, yes, please ask anytime.
And are we setting aside a specific number that you would want to hold for commissioners, or what would that look like?
I believe that we can do that. We're certainly open to that. Right now, we propose doubling the service, and we're looking to target those specific areas. But that gives us enough room to be able to do some specific things for any particular event that you have in mind. But we're really going to look to you for helping us know where the need is and where we need to go.
Okay. Since I haven't spoken to commissioners, I don't want to commit to anything right now except that, well, let me ask this, because there was a request. Is this urgent? Does this need to be approved in the next month or so?
Yes, sir. Madam Chair, I think it does need to be approved because, quite frankly, Lifeline has been operating as if, we're going to be doing this. So you have the 10 new kennels that came online a couple of months ago that we're trying to get fully occupied and staffed. The funding in the previous budget did not cover that, so that needs to cover that type of work. And additionally, we have a very aggressive strategy for spay and neuter, and the sooner we get after it, the sooner we believe we're going to reduce pet overpopulation issues at the shelter.
Okay. Well, this would be my request then for this item, if we're going to go ahead and make a decision on it. If per year, at least, between the 7 districts, there is, I would say, an appropriation of about $100,000, not each. I'm saying amongst the commissioners. I know when I did an event, we spent about 5 to 10. District 2 did about 5 to 10, and a couple of you guys did about the same. So I'm just guesstimating so that we don't have to pull it from our district budgets. If we're giving you an additional $3 million, then you can set aside $100,000 for us to do district-specific events. I see your mind wondering what you think.
No, I'm trying to see how to make it work. But yeah, so the long and short is, can we commit to ensuring that we have programs in each district and working with each district office to co-sponsor? I think the simple answer to that is yes.
Okay.
Whether that costs $150,000 or $75,000 or whatever, I'm sure we can make that work.
Okay, I just make sure we have a commitment. I don't want y'all to say we forgot, because some of us have signature events that we know are going to happen each year.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, are there, Commissioner Terry?
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to just, I think that's a great idea, and if it's possible, I don't know, maybe if Lifeline could just kind of give us a sense of, with the community engagement staff, so two full-time equivalents, so it's 2 full-time staffers, I guess would be the support to do the events that Commissioner Bolton's talking about. So what are the other expenses that would help make the event successful if we did district events?
I mean, it's going to be like a per event thing, what you have in mind. But Lifeline does bring its entire staff to be able to do these events. So we have our marketing team and all that. The 2 full-time staff we're talking about are really
Always.
Not necessarily door-to-door in community engagement, but we really want to focus very heavily on these heavy need areas. But the events that we do now, we pull our full staff. So really, it will give you access to have that mobile clinic at your events, and there's no cost to you if you want to do an adoption event or anything like that. We're happy to do that. Anyway, to get more exposure for the animals is free.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was trying to get you some extra money to help us
It's
to do more events.
It's going to cost a couple $100,000, Commissioner. No, I'm just joking. Really, it's a part of the service. We want to partner with you to get the word out about what's available for people who need the services, and then also what's available for people who want to adopt a pet.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd like to do an event.
Okay.
Commissioner Messiah.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Yeah, I think it's a great idea to be able to expand the partnership and engagement with other commissioners in other districts, particularly as the county is supporting this as a whole. And then also, we could tailor it specifically to some of the needs that are found within our districts, our communities. I can say that, within my community, for instance, in my district, education is very much needed, in addition to, the spay and neuter, and then, the food bank, right? The pet food bank. So there are particular services that are more needed, and more outreach and different type of outreach and engagement that may be more specific to some areas versus others in having the dialogues with the district commissioners and, working collaboratively. It's, I think, impactful and helpful, and we can, of course, help, get more of the information out as well. So great idea. I appreciate, my colleagues mentioning it, and looking forward to continue to work with you guys. Thank you. I yield back to you, Madam Chair.
All right, was there anything you wanted to add, Commissioner Patrick? Okay. If there are no other questions or comments, do we have a motion for this item?
My motion is to approve agenda item that ends in, one second, just lost it just that quickly. That agenda item, I'm sorry.
284.
0284, my apologies.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Congratulations. Recommendation for approval carries with that item. Okay, so we have gone through all of our agenda items. We do have one discussion remaining. This is DKPD Annual Report, DKPD Annual Report 2025, and you guys should have a hard copy of that document in front of you. All right, welcome back, Chief.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon again, Commissioners. And thank you for the opportunity to share this. This is something we need to do better at moving forward, is sharing our annual reports and what's occurred in previous years. So we did have this annual report prepared, and I apologize. I tried to get a PowerPoint ready, but it just didn't work. This was built in something else, but we did have this report ready, so I'm happy to be able to share this with you. In the beginning, you can see that the DeKalb County Police Department's mission statement and motto is listed in. I want to point that out because it's the first time in years that we've changed it. So we've updated our mission statement so all of our officers are clear on the direction and the mission of the DeKalb County Police Department. And the DeKalb County Police Department is committed to protecting life and property, maintaining public order, and enhancing the quality of life for all through professionalism, accountability, innovation, and community partnership. And our motto serves the same purpose. Our motto is honor, service, and partnership. We know that we must serve honorably, and it is a shared responsibility and a partnership for us to accomplish our goals. A little bit, introduction, the table of contents, historical overview. We think that is important, sharing the history of our organization. But on page 4, you'll see the 2025 year in review. And one of the things that I wanted to point out, and I know that you are all very familiar with, is the launch of our real-time crime center, and how it allows for the enhanced safety of officers and the citizens. And that has been a big push. I think it is state-of-the-art. We have tours lining up all the time from other agencies wanting to see and model their real-time crime centers after what we have put together. We are still moving forward with a strong staffing model. We started off with 1 shift per day. We're up to 2 shifts per day. And by the end of the year, we will be 24/7 operations. So we'll be running 3 shifts, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Another thing that's important is a lot of our community engagement events. We held 2 safety fairs last year, in addition to well over 100 different events that we hosted, whether it was Coffee with the Cops, community engagement meetings, precinct meetings, Majors Night Out, Pizza with the Cop, and other things. I also wanted to highlight our PAL unit, and I know you're very familiar, even last month with the proclamation that our PAL unit received and the work that they're doing. And it's not only athletics, but it is really life skills and workshops for our youth. Organizational chart, that's changed a little bit already. We changed that this year. We saw the need for better supervision, proper supervision and accountability, and a better service model delivery. So if you look under the Special Services Division in the middle of that organizational chart, you'll see a Support Services section and a Special Operations section. We were able to separate those two and make it a support services division and a special operations division with proper leadership, because their functions are vastly different, so it did not serve us well in mixing those together. So we've been able to expand and grow operationally through our organization, and that organizational structure was changed this year. It was also one of the recommendations from the Malden and Jenkins report. So we were able to complete that recommendation. Departmental staffing, I know I've talked about it many times. Last year we ended up with a 9% increase in staffing for our sworn officers, and we are well on our way to see that growth rate continue. I'm excited that later this month we should have an academy with 35 plus more recruits starting. We have about 16 certified officers that are in process now as well. If you look on page 8, I want to point out our internal affairs function. And it says that the internal affairs has 4 primary objectives: protection of the public, protection of the employees, removal of unfit personnel, and correction of procedural issues. That's important because I noticed that, and if you look at the different columns year over year, we had more complaints in 2025 than in previous years. That was an intentional act, and many of the complaints were internally initiated from either coworkers or supervisors alike. We are auditing ourselves. Our supervisors are responsible for auditing body-worn camera footage. Regardless of complaints, they have to look at, pull random checks on body-worn cameras, and when they see deficiencies, they are responsible for correcting them, and then we log those as complaints. So we are, policing ourselves internally without asking for complaints. We seek it out. But on top of this, one of the things we did at the end of the year last year is had Internal Affairs Commander do an audit of, our top complaints. What are we doing wrong? Where do we need to improve? And all of our internal affairs investigators are visiting every roll call, every precinct, every watch, every division, and explaining to them, because many of the things are very minor infractions: rudeness, professional image, not turning on your body-worn camera. But we've identified our deficiencies and we're pointing it out to our department so that we can self-correct. So that's one of the things that's been beneficial with looking into this and taking a deeper dive, not just collecting the complaints, but really looking at what's driving them. Financially, I know we just finished the budget, so I know you're familiar with the police department's budget. Crime trend reports, I was excited. Numbers, 91 homicides last year. That's the first time in many, many, many years that we've been below 100 homicides in DeKalb County. The only increase that we saw within violent crime was aggravated assaults. That's something that we're aware of. We continue to work, and we're working towards. But overall, there was a reduction in both violent crime and property crime last year, and we want to keep those trends going. Our clearance rates are self-explanatory. That's how we clear our cases. One of the things I really want to highlight is the fact that if you look at the national average for homicides, the national average for clearing a homicide case is 52.3%. Our detectives are clearing cases at a 76.9% clearance rate. Granted, that doesn't take away that homicide, but at least it gives many of the families closure in their difficult times when we're able to clear these cases and bring them to justice. Department activity trends. We know that police presence prevents crimes. We want to keep our officers out, active, and working. So we strategically track those, and we've been hitting the locations with our safety checks throughout the county. If you look at traffic accident trends, 32,000 accidents last year. We're trying to reduce that. And by being out there and doing these safety checks, I think it helps us in the long term. And also with those safety checks, our traffic fatalities last year was one of our lowest, with only 88 traffic fatalities, so we saw a decrease there as well. And then the following pages kind of gives you an overview of the uniform division, our special services division, special operations and support services. Some of the section highlights that they wanted to point out as division commanders, division summaries for our criminal investigations, and it breaks down, and this is for the public. We're going to have these in our precincts. Anybody can grab one, look at them. It's going to be posted on our website so that this information is available for all to see, and what each division is up to, what they're doing. Social media, I'm not very good at, but our PIOs really work on that. But community engagement events. This is just some of the few pictures that we have from many of the events we did last year. And with that, I'll answer any questions you have.
Awesome. Thank you, Chief. And it looks like you guys are doing an amazing job. Congratulations on all of your reductions. I love forward thinking. Director Fulham would tell you I commend him on that all the time. So you doing, I'm going to say, adapting your organizational chart to the needs of the community and the current population and demographic of your different precincts and of the unit. Just overall, I think it's a great decision, something we have talked about doing with our central staff as well, just reorganizing to make things more efficient so we can better serve the community. All of that, I think, is amazing. Before I ask my few questions, I want to see if committee members have questions. Commissioner Messiah.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And in the vein of forward thinking, just realizing, I think it's great that in certain areas, in terms of the clearance rates, DeKalb County is below the national average, but we do have a couple, particularly homicides, rape, and auto theft that are above the national average. And so do we have any thoughts in terms of what we can do to address that? And to the extent that we need to continue the conversation offline, then of course I welcome that. But I just wanted to sort of put it at top of mind and see if there's anything just knee-jerk that you've thought of to address those particular areas of crimes.
Yes, ma'am.
One of clearance rates.
One of the contributing factors, I believe, and in talking with the detectives, is even sometimes victim cooperation. So what we've done different, 2 years ago, we started a victim witness advocate program. They're civilians, and this year we started with 4. We've doubled it now. I just met with the new ones last week. So having the ability for our victim witness advocates to talk to the victims and maybe get them to be more forthcoming with what is exactly taking place will help us with the information we need, because sometimes our witnesses just don't want to share the information. Maybe they don't want, some of our officers are a little bit more less sensitive than they should be. So having someone else to talk to with a better background may open up those channels to help us get the information we need to close those cases.
Thank you for that, and I appreciate that. That's an important point. I know that we have victims advocates in the court. So are these particularly in conjunction with the court, or is this something separate and germane to our DeKalb PD?
This is specific to the DeKalb Police Department, and we've always been very familiar with both the Solicitor's Office and the District Attorney's Office and their victim witness advocates. But what we noticed a couple of years ago was there was a gap, because if your case does not make it to court, you don't have a victim witness advocate. And not, as you can see by our clearance rates, not all the cases make it to court. So there was a big gap of victims not receiving services because their case never reached adjudication. So now we have that at the case level versus the adjudication level.
Fantastic. And you said there are 2 victim advocates right now?
We have 8.
Oh, 8, I'm
yes,
sorry.
Ma'am. We went from 4 to last year to 8 this year.
So 4 to 8. And is that sufficient, or is there?
We're going to continue to grow. It was a new program. As a matter of fact, last year in 2025, we received an award from the International Association of Chiefs of Police on our new victim witness advocate program. So now we're doubling it, and we're going to grow as we're able to grow with the program.
All right. And as you mentioned, we passed a new budget, and just the ask was the need for additional advocates included in our in the budget request?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we've already got budgeting for the additional individuals that we're looking
Yes,
forward to stepping in that role. Fantastic. That exhausts my questions. Thank you again for your great work. I yield back to you, Madam Chair.
Great job. And I heard you slip in that honor. Congratulations. Commissioner Terry, did you have something?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Just a few quick things. So thank you, Chief Patrick, for doing the report and presenting it and having lots of really great data, because I think that's the first step towards transparency, is you just tell what's going on. And so kudos for doing the report, for mentioning the internal affairs audit. I mean, I think that's really encouraging, and I'm sure it was just good for the organization in general to have that layer of review. I love the photo of you shooting basketball.
I almost made it too.
You almost made. I'm sure you made one of them.
You see, I picked a little kid to play against. So.
That's right. Well, actually, I was looking for the dunk tank. And Zach
Next
said,
year.
Zach said he wanted to get in the dunk tank for the kids, of course. So maybe we'll get the two chiefs or all the chiefs in a dunk tank this year. But the community engagement is great. I know Ms. Tate comes out to so many events, so just want to give her kudos. The community service aides, are they considered in the civilian the numbers on each precinct? Because you have
Yes, sir.
officers and then civilians?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I might suggest you include a little page on the community service aides, if that's possible, just because it is, I think, an important program, and it's something
sir.
y'all are continuing, right?
Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to grow it. I want to see 40 this year total to have 10 per precinct.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, that's great. And if we can just get the state law to change where they can just do a couple more things, then they would really be dynamic for sure. And then the only other question I had was about the traffic fatalities. Do those include pedestrian
Yes, sir.
fatalities as well?
Yes,
Would
sir.
it be possible just to get a breakout of which ones were pedestrian versus traffic?
Yes, sir.
And then one thing that I wanted to talk with Zach and maybe Director Keeter about is, and I noticed this because there was the pedestrian fatality over on North Decatur by the Sprouts. It was early morning. I think it was dark. And just the other day I was driving by because I went to go get a tropical smoothie, which is like right there. And I realized that intersection and then the other side of that development has almost no streetlights. And so I don't know all the details of what happened with that particular situation, but I'm wondering if we could just have a little bit of overlap of where y'all are seeing pedestrian fatalities, and maybe just a quick review from Transportation, Zach, of would additional lighting help? Because people are going to get MARTA early in the morning. Sometimes it is dark, especially in the wintertime. So just things that we can be proactive as you're out there, you're seeing things that have happened that are awful. My mind always goes to, is there anything that we could have done, infrastructure or logistically that would have prevented that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. And I just have a few questions, just 2 or 3 questions. One is when it comes to the complaints, whether internal or informal and formal, did you guys include both civilian and sworn, or do you distinguish those separate one from another?
They're the same. They're all
Okay.
included.
Okay. And the only reason that I ask that, I have gotten some emails, but what I have gathered from some of them, some of the civilians want some of the same benefits or opportunities as the sworn. And I think maybe clarifying the distinction and level of responsibility could help with some of the concerns that may have been raised. But, that would be understandable. I just wanted clarity on whether it included both civilian and sworn. But for the victim and witness advocates, are they included in the number of civilian employees that you have? Are they on civilian payroll?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. With that, one thing I would like us to consider potentially is the number of investigators that we have. It has come up because we get so many emails with respect to the animal shelter, and then more recently, cost of care and doing investigations for court-held animals and all that kind of stuff. Whether it needs to be budgeted to have additional investigators to help support that work. I know the solicitors, I believe it was the solicitor's office, indicated that they've hired more folks to help on their end with it, but maybe having a little bit more support on you guys' side could help them. They're getting sort of a bottleneck, and that could help streamline things a bit more. While I'm making the suggestion, but I should have asked first, do you have anyone that does investigations for those court cases for the court-held animals at the shelter?
We specifically stick to criminal investigations involving animal cruelty. Not so much on the court-held animals. That's a completely different process that's not criminal as far as a state law violation. But I know that there's been other discussions about partnering together with Animal Services and the police department and others to come up with a better model for those investigations. But currently, when we get referrals for animal complaints that are a state law violation, there's not a specific detective. All of our property crimes detectives are able to handle those, so it's geographically assigned based on the area where the animal complaint occurs. It will go to that precinct investigative unit for proper investigation.
Okay. All right. You wanted to add to that, Commissioner?
Well, I think the solicitor was asking for more investigators, but I think maybe she was talking about the animal control.
Right.
That's
And
their
their primary
department.
function is the code violations versus
Okay.
the state law violations.
I gotcha. Okay. So just getting a little bit of clarity on that. Commissioner Patrick, did you have any questions or comments regarding the year in review presentation from DKPD? All right. Yes, we are over our time. Okay, so if there are no other questions or comments, this was a presentation, so we don't have anything to vote on. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, all in favor? Aye.